pays attention to. He's the author of the new paradigm for financial markets. And before today's G20 meeting, he said this summit was make or break. He's with me now. Make or break, Mr. Soros, which is it, do you think?
I think it has definitely made it. And I think it's a very welcome change from until now. The authorities were always lagging behind a deteriorating situation, trying to catch up. And here they anticipated there is a very serious problem facing the developing world, which hadn't been dealt with. And if it hadn't been addressed today, we would have another very serious deterioration in what I call the periphery countries, including Eastern Europe. They have definitely prevented it, I think, by the measures they have taken.
Are we seeing, I mean, we're going to hear from President Lula of Brazil later, but are we seeing a major shift in the way the world economy works, and therefore a power shift?
Absolutely. I think people ask me how long before we get back to the old. We'll never get back to where we came from, because it collapsed. The financial system collapsed of its own weight. It was something wrong, fundamentally wrong with the foundations on which it was built, and therefore we have to lay new foundations.
Is the Anglo-Saxon model, as it's been called, in other words, the kind of model that the Washington Consensus, what was going on in the United States and Britain, is that history gone?
Certainly the last 25 years, which I call market fundamentalism, the belief that leave it to the markets, they'll take care of it, that has been decisively proven to be false. So that has to change, and I think that's inevitable.
Can I ask you one direct question about you? Why are you short selling sterling?
I'm not short selling sterling. I wrote in my book at $2 I sold sterling. I covered it. Incidentally, I am now back in retirement. I came out of retirement for a year to save my capital. I didn't want to lose it in this, and now I've handed it back to the people who are running it. I'm no longer active.
It's just that some very well-connected people in the British government suggested to me that you are doing that, and you take a dim view of the British economy overall. Is that true, at least?
I did take. I said publicly that I thought that the outlook for the British economy was even worse than it was for the United States. Because the financial sector is more important relative to the overall size, and the excess in valuation of houses is more extreme here. On the other hand, you don't have the overbuilding that you had in America.
In the United States. So is that still your view? I mean, is it still your view to be gloomy about Britain?
I think that the problem confronting Britain is very, very, very big, because the size of the banking industry is very big. So Iceland is a smaller island than Britain, but there's some comparison. I mean, it's a big banking industry here.
You've seen it from inside hedge funds. Do you think this new regulatory framework for hedge funds, also for tax havens, do you think that's going to work?
I think it has to, because markets can't be left to their own devices. They are prone to create asset bubbles, and therefore the regulators have to prevent that. And I think that there will be a new recognition that markets go to excesses, and it's the role of the regulators. Not enough to regulate money. You also have to regulate credit.
Just a final thought. We've only got 30 seconds or so left. I mean, do you see this as a day that will go down in history?
Yes, I think this could well be a turning point, because the authorities got together and they have taken the steps, not all the steps. I mean, I would have, very important is the special drawing rights. That's creating international creation of money. That's something really new. I would have liked to see that the rich countries that can print their own money would transfer their allocations to the poor countries that can't. I think that still has to come. The technicalities have to be worked out, but that is what is still missing.
Okay, Mr. Soros, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Now, perhaps the most interesting